should your heels come off the foot stretchers or not? It always depends on your physiology. If you have long lower legs, chances are they won't. But for most people, the problem actually is a different one. Most people bring in the seat way too much. Bring the seat in much closer. All right, you see what happens now? Heels come off. Heels come off. Now bring the seat into a natural position again. Full foot is on foot stretchers. Come again forward. Heels come off. Now, watch something else. You see the hands? Bring the seat forward. The hands don't move. So this is something I call the Michael Jackson motion. Some people, as Alex just pointed out before, rightfully so, some people have a very steep angle of foot stretchers. So this is a 45-degree angle we use on a bio rower. The difference between angle is how much force you can apply. But the angle largely depends on the length of your legs, the proportion of your legs. If you have like short lower legs, you could allow to have steeper angle. It's very simple. If you have long lower legs, you can use a flatter angle and still have most of the foot on your foot stretchers. To me, in coaching, this is something I never even worry about because it's something that happens naturally. You don't need to have the entire foot on the foot stretchers because we don't need to apply full force at the catch anyway. It's nothing that propels the boat dramatically. If you're here at the catch and your heels just happen to come off slightly, so what? It's not going to change anything. Because if you think you have to apply full force here at the catch, you're going to kill your body anyway, and your body's not able to transfer that. So usually, by the time we come, can you go forward a bit more to the catch? Okay, now the heels come off. At this point, the blade is in an angle where you don't propel the boat anyway. The blade is more pointing outwards than forwards. Now you need, slowly, you need about this long before you can actually apply full force. And this is where usually you have the full foot and the foot stretches anyway. Now you need, slowly, you need about this long before you can actually apply full force. And this is where usually you have the full foot and the foot stretches anyway. So everything where the heels should be off at the catch, let them be off. Don't worry about it. Usually when you need full force, you will have the full foot and the foot stretchers. If not, change something with the angle. But don't be too religious about it. It's not a big deal. As we move along towards the finish, another question was, should the heels be off at the finish? They can be a bit off, but they don't have to be. This is again something, how much force you want to apply at this part of the stroke? None. If you have a bit of connection left, it's fine. That's about it. There are things I'm pretty, precise about and things that are pretty important, but it's not going to change anything. The two extreme parts of the stroke, catch and finish, they are important for the rhythm, but not a lot of force is running through the foot stretches anyway. So if the heels are off or not is nothing important. It is much more important that the seat is in the right position, and it's much more important that you are in the loose, well-connected body posture. And generally, I would make sure that you have the feeling that you can transfer a lot of force over the middle part of the drive, and this is where you need to adjust the foot stretchers. But keep in mind, whenever you change the angle of the foot stretchers, there is always a trade-off. When I did the video on, I think it was Paul O'Donovan's crazy lightweight man single scull, everybody said, yeah, he's so fast because his foot stretchers are so steep. And that's like the big secret. There is no big secret. Whatever you do, it always has a downside. So the upside, if you have a steep angle, you can actually apply full force if your physiology is right. So if your proportions are right. The downside is that you can have a very wide reach at the catch, because if you have steep angle, you don't have the mobility here in your ankles. It just doesn't work. But for Paul O'Donovan, it probably was right. But I think Paul was so strong, he would have won with a flat angle as well. It's not so much the angle of foot stretches. We always try to make a point where, yeah, he did this and because he wore a pink shirt and he had boiled eggs for breakfast, this is why he won. That doesn't make the difference. It was Paul's ambition, it was Paul's training, it was Paul's technique, his understanding on how to propel the boat. This is what makes the difference. These things are important, but fine-tuning. And rowing is an awesome sport, but we are miles away from being as professional as Formula One. Until we actually test every athlete's haircut and boat in a wind channel before a race, we don't have to worry about this. Now, this might be exaggeration, but I think I'm pretty close to the truth here. I want to leave it right there. Sorry, this might not be what you expected it to be, but this is how I see it and how it works the best for me. Have a good one, and looking forward if you share this. Oh yeah, share the video, subscribe. Great, thank you. Bye-bye.